All right, the moment we've all been waiting for, it's time to take care of business, literally. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of putting all of your business income into your tax return. This is going to be the video where I walk you through exactly how to translate your business bookkeeping template into the FreeTaxUSA software so you can do your business taxes. Let's get straight into it. All right, without further ado, let's hop straight into our business income. So, quick note. If you have a 1099 NEC or a 1099 miscellaneous or a 1099K from like Stripe or PayPal or anything like that, send me a DM or write a post in the school community and I will help you out with putting these in right here. Otherwise, we'll go to our business income Schedule C that we talked about earlier in the course right here, and we will hit start. The only thing we're going to need to do this is our trusty bookkeeping template right here. I went ahead and sort of copied and pasted a bunch of transactions throughout the year, just so on this summary page it looks a little bit more filled out. And when we go back to our FreeTaxUSA right here, we'll hit add a business and start the process. So first and foremost, it'll ask us what type of work we do for our business. Going with the rest of what I've done, I will put financial consultant, but whatever you guys have put in previous screens with your EIN applications and stuff like that, that is what you will put in this box right here. We can put in the name of our small business or our LLC right here if we want to. I would recommend you do. So in my case, I'll put mine in right here. And once that's in, I will hit save and continue. This right here is going to give you a couple different options for what best fits your business. So kind of like what we were doing with the EIN application. The IRS wants to get an idea of what to expect from your tax return or your Schedule C or your business or anything like that. So it will ask you for a specific code that matches what type of business you're in. Depending on what you put in on the last screen, I put financial consultant, you might have put construction, you might have put online business, you might have put something else. These codes will be custom tailored to your situation right here, so you'll want to pick the one that best fits what you do in your business. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to pick this first one right here, but you'll want to pick the one that best applies to you. It'll ask us if we have an EIN, so we will hit yes. We'll put in our EIN from earlier right here. Once we get that put in right here, we'll keep scrolling on down. If we have a separate office, we will put yes on this question right here. For the majority of people, again, with all of the LLCs and the EIN stuff that's been going on, the majority of you are just going to be saying no on here. If you have a separate physical office that you use, that you want to send all of your mail to, say yes right here. Otherwise, I'm going to say no. For the first time, just started your LLC, just got your EIN, you will say yes on this question right here. We did start our business in 2024. This question right here is going to ask you if you essentially hired any contracting work that you paid at least $600 to each individual person. If you just bought like supplies from a regular other business or anything like that, you would say no. The majority of people right here are going to say no, just because you are probably not going to have much contracting work, or if you did, it'll be under $600 right here. If you did pay someone over $600 that wasn't your employee right here, you'll want to say yes. And before you go any further, send me a DM or make a post in the school community and I will help you out with that. But because for the majority of you guys are going to be saying no, I will say no as well. If your business has inventory or cost of goods sold, we will hit yes right here. For the first run of your business, for this first Schedule C, this doesn't really matter as much. If you are in a manufacturing business or you do lots of construction stuff, you can say yes. At the end of the day, all of the numbers are going to go in the same spot. So for the sake of simplicity in this course, I will say no. Further down the line, it would be beneficial to say yes, or not necessarily beneficial, but more correct technically, but for the sake of simplicity, we are going to say no right here. And unless you are bringing in tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of money and you were not using this bookkeeping template right here, we are going to say cash on this question right here. We'll hit save and continue. This again, when we go back to our original first income screen right here, and it was asking for our NECs or miscellaneous or 1099Ks right here, basically a repeat of that question again. Don't go any further. If you did get one of those three things, reach out to me in the DMs and I'll help help you out directly, but for the purpose of this demonstration, we will say no right here. This right here is going to start the actual process of putting all of our bookkeeping template into the tax world right here. So first line right here, this would be the gross receipts or sales. The reason I bring up this 1099 NEC or miscellaneous is because of this specified thing right here. This first line right here is going to be this line right here, our total gross receipts and sales right there. We'll copy and paste that and we will be all good. If we had any returns or allowances or other miscellaneous income, which again, the majority of you guys are not going to have, especially in your first couple of years of business, we would put those in these two lines right here. Because we don't, we're going to leave off with this section right here, hit save and continue, and move on to the expenses. And as you go through line by line on this screen right here, you will see that contract labor, commissions and fees, wages, these all match up exactly with our bookkeeping template summary right here. That is the super nice part about our template right here. You can just copy and paste these numbers directly into your tax return. All of these are zero. It looks like we have this number right here for repairs and maintenance, so I'll copy and paste that. Business travel, I did have a little bit of business travel, so I'll copy and paste that. Our insurance, we did have some insurance right here. Taxes and licenses, didn't have that. We had some supplies right here. And you'll just go through line by line, copying and pasting over from your bookkeeping template right here. So once you've finished copying and pasting all of our business expenses from our summary page right here into FreeTaxUSA, if we scroll down, we will have three more sections that I want to talk about super quickly. The first is business meals. So the reason why I have purposefully not talked about this section in the entire course so far, and I even left it out of our bookkeeping template right here, is because if we click on this question mark right here, these are the actual qualifications you need to meet in order to deduct a meal expense. And the more people I work with and the more clients I work with, the more I see people accidentally classifying personal meals as business meals, and the more audits that I'm a part of and the more people I represent, the more I see the IRS getting really, really mad about that kind of thing. So I wanted to quickly make a note on the business meal side. I haven't mentioned it so far. If you do have business meals that meet all of these requirements right here, you should definitely total those up. You will say yes, and you will put them in the general meals section right here, most likely, unless you are a special kind of business in which you will put them in here. And for more information, you can hit on these question marks right here. I'm not going to go into detail because, again, I've seen too many mistakes on this section, but if you have any questions, hit these question marks right here, and if that still doesn't help you, please reach out to me in a DM or a school post, and I will help you out there. I will say we do not have any business meal expenses right here. Scrolling down again, the de minimis safe harbor. This is a lot of tax jargon nonsense that we really don't need to go into right here. What I will say is that if you bought equipment throughout the year, be it a computer for your business, a printer for your business, an excavator, anything like that, shovels, wheelbarrows, any kind of small equipment like that, you're going to want to hit yes. If you did not buy equipment, I honestly recommend still saying yes anyway to cover your bases. Again, I'm not going to go into the tax jargoniness of the de minimis safe harbor election. All you need to know is that if you bought equipment, you're going to want to say yes. If you didn't buy equipment, doesn't really matter as much. You can say yes or no. Heading on to our final section right here for the miscellaneous expenses. If we go back into our bookkeeping template right here, I did put in a miscellaneous expense right here. If I go to January, it is this one right here. As you're going throughout the year in your bookkeeping template right here and you have miscellaneous expenses, you can classify them as such. I would definitely recommend putting in a lot of notes in the description if you have anything miscellaneous. And the reason why I have this in dark red right here and I'm pointing this out right now is because we do not want to put stuff in these boxes right here if we do not have to. The IRS is going to very, very much appreciate it if you can push all of your miscellaneous expenses into one of the pre-existing categories that we have up here. So with any miscellaneous expense that you have, go back to whatever your description was and do your very, very best to combine that or push that into one of these categories that we saw on the summary page right here. We really do not want to have lots and lots and lots and lots of miscellaneous expenses right here. If you absolutely cannot find a way to put it into one of these categories, you are welcome to just write it in right here and put the amount. But again, please do your very, very best to push any miscellaneous expenses you have into one of these categories right here. It will make your life easier. It will make the IRS's life a lot easier. Please do not have tons of miscellaneous expenses right here. And if you need any help trying to figure out what kind of category to put your miscellaneous expenses into, you're always more than welcome to shoot me a DM and I will be happy to help you out there. With all that being said, all of our expenses are in here. We will hit save and continue right here. For the purposes of this course, I'm going to skip these 4 or 5 sections down here just because these are a lot more advanced. They take a lot more time and I will most likely cover those in a different course down the line if you guys really, really want me to. So if you do want me to cover these expenses right here and they are applicable to you, please shoot me a message or make a post, a feedback post in the school group, and I will see what I can do for you guys. But for the purposes of this course, I'm just going to skip through these 5 categories right here. The last one I want to touch on before we move on is the qualified business income deduction. Now, at the time that I'm filming this in 2024, this is still a thing. This was new under the Trump Tax Act in 2018 or 2017, I believe. This essentially gives you a deduction for just being a business owner. So when you go down to this line, you're going to want to hit edit and you're going to want to answer these questions right here. So are we conducting our business in the US? Yes. Are we doing things for a former employer that we did as an employee? This would be like you were a W-2 employee of your company and then you told your employer that you wanted to be a contractor instead. You will say no if that is not the case. We will look at our qualifying business income right here. This will be our net profit from the business because that is our qualified business income. We don't need to go into specifics of anything right here. All we need to do is just answer these questions and this will help us save on taxes. So do we want to use the QBI we calculated above? Yes. And after we finish entering all of our income, will our income be over this level? Ours will be no, just because our only other income for this example is that W-2. I will say no for this question right here. If we go forward, this is now all set up right here. So if we hit continue one last time, we'll have a summary of our Schedule C thing right here. We hit continue one last time, and that is all of our income from all of our sources put in right here. We have our W-2 stuff right here. If we have any of those 1089s, they'll go here. And just like that, we have finished putting in all of our business income as well. So in the next couple videos, we'll just be wrapping up, going through the rest of these screens up here, getting things sent off, and you will be all done. Congratulations. Let's hop back into the lesson. And that's it. You've successfully put in all of your business stuff and you have done your business taxes. The Schedule C that we talked about earlier in the course is where all of those numbers are going to show up. You can look through this on the preview of your return before you send it off. With all that being said, now that all of the income is taken care of on the personal and business side of things, in the next lesson, I'm going to talk about personal deductions. This is where I talk about the difference between standard deductions and itemizing your deductions and what to do if you made charitable donations throughout the year, you have mortgage interest, medical expenses, and everything in between. I'll see you then.